Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday night. Time for our weekly chat. Hope everyone is having a great week. Oh, it's been a pretty lazy one for me. I got to tell you that. Just bear with me for one. I got to fix myself up here. We'll be waiting for Sam and Rob as soon as I invite them. I'm a little slow tonight. They'll probably both come and make comments that they can't get on, but they're um, they're there. 3 comments. Who's here? Flat, round, and spun. VC. Hey, how's it going? Travis, nice to see you. Dan, this is live, buddy. Wednesday night live. I'm all alone. We'll see if anybody shows up. Tonight we are going to do a belated celebration for the 4th of July. I was going to do this myself yesterday on a video and just come up with a top 10 list of great musicians from the US. And I decided to let's save it until Wednesday night and get Sam and Rob involved. I was picking my kind of top like favorites, and I thought, nah, I'm going to, oh, Sam's coming soon. I'm going to, pick some of my favorites. Is there going to be wrestling chatter tonight? Anytime you want to talk wrestling, Dan, I can do my best. Dan must be a huge wrestling fan. I don't know if we found out who your favorite wrestler was, Dan. It's probably one of the Hearts, I'm assuming, but I'll tell you, right now I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan. I think she's amazing. And Kevin Owens from Montreal, KO. Wow. Yeah, we got some good stuff to show you tonight. What else is going on? I'm trying to watch the Blue Jay game and it's rained out. It's just team and rain in Chicago. So I Steve sent me an email saying from All the World's a Stage he couldn't join us tonight. He's probably bailing water out of his basement the way the rain's coming down there. Craziness. The Music Sanctuary's with us. Good evening. Wow, we got 15 people already, and I got nothing to say until I get somebody on with me here. But trying to think of what's been going on. I've bought a ton of records. I guess I'm doing my music exchange with Larry Graves. I like Nick Bockwinkel best with Bobby the Brain. Oh yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan. There's a character. Yeah, wow, that's a name from the past, Nick Bockwinkel. Wow, very cool. Not too many people are going to know about him. Yeah, we're still doing our CD exchange with Larry Graves. If anybody has watched Larry's channel last night, him and Molly went to see Sparks on Monday night, and man, were they excited! It must have been a great show. So you could tell the next day when they were doing their video. You know, when you go to a good concert, it's like you're just so excited. Like afterwards, you go to bed and you're still singing the songs, and the next day you're playing all the albums, and that's the best feeling in the frickin' world. Peace, Caesar. I'll have to check in with my partner in crime. I hope the rain isn't affecting him too much. Oh, it's Trevor. I didn't know the name of your channel, Trevor. I'm so sorry. AJ Styles and Doc Dacus are my modern favorites. Yeah. AJ Styles is great. I hear he's a flat earther. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope not. He's got to be smarter than that. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing? Wow. This is great. Tons of people tonight. Wow, I got nobody. I don't know where the heck everybody is. Rob's not here. Nobody. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Same. Waiting for the Jays to start. I got them on in the background. Been listening to a ton of music. Mostly, I'm still really wired with Joe Strummer. That Joe Strummer stuff is. Um, I don't. Rachel's probably right to a point. My point is that just make it easy for people to find. That's all. Just make it easy for people to find somehow. I mean, our friend Jack, who comes on every week, he was just Jack Gopp. I mean, and you tried to search for it and you couldn't find it anywhere. And then he changed his to Jack the Music Guy, and now you can search for it. So uh, catchy, short, something someone will remember. I was when I started, I was the low end music freak because I was playing bass guitar and I just used that as kind of a thing. Um, Pithy, wow! I have to go take a pith right now. Hi, Tim. Never a better name for a guitar player than Strummer. Yeah, no kidding, eh? Yeah, that was not his real name was John Mellor, Mellor. Yeah, Strummer was ingenious. Oh, there's Sam. Hey, buddy.
I was just about to message and say check on your guests in the waiting room.
Yeah, there you are in the waiting room. Well, you're fashionably late, so I like to make you wait.
Fine, that's
How you
understandable.
doing?
I'm good. It's a big buzz in my family. My cousin gets married Saturday, so it's all sorts of wedding
Oh,
stuff
nothing
happening.
better than a good wedding, eh? It's a good
Well,
place to meet women too. Weddings.
not this wedding. I can promise.
No,
No,
was it?
it's a lot of family and a lot of people that are married.
Oh, there's not one person who comes with a.
It could be, but it's my it's very slim.
Oh,
It's very slim. But the worst part is that it's a July wedding, and I'm
hot. It's
got to wear a
how hot is it down there?
tuxedo,
Because
so
up
I'm
here
in it.
it's scorching. You're slowing down and cutting out on me. You're freezing. You're frozen.
It's can you see me now?
Yeah, I could see you, but you're freezing up and kind of your voice is cutting in and out.
Am I good
I
now?
got you. Okay, they're good.
It's today it got up to almost 90 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's
quite balmy.
It's in the 90s here. It's really hot.
Yeah, thankfully the wedding's inside and so is the reception, but I'm gonna be in a tuxedo still.
Alek Manoah, I don't know what he's going to do. He better if they called him up too quickly. So I don't know if Alex Manoah is like our ace pitcher, and he's having the worst season ever. It's like he forgot how to pitch. And they sent him down to this Florida league, that's a development league for 18 and 19-year-old pro people just signed their first pro contract. He's down there pitching against those guys.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden they say, oh, he's fine now. I think they took him up to Double-A and let him play a game now. On Friday night, he's pitching against the Tigers.
Good night.
Now, the Tigers suck. So I think you and I could probably pitch a no-hitter against the Tigers. So that might not be a good I'm going to learn something about the Sparks Brothers later. PBR, the documentary. Oh, a great documentary. I'm not the hugest Sparks Brothers fan, but that's a great documentary. Hi, Marcia.
Hey, Marcia.
I got to do a live chat on Steve's channel on Sunday night. I just came on late and he invited me up, and I got to kind of meet Marcia on screen for the first time. And,
all fun.
And and Trevor from Flat, Round, and Spun VC.
Yep.
It's 31 degrees and hazy in Vancouver today. Yeah, it's freaking hot, man. That 31 would be balmy here.
I'm making sure my list is in order here before I.
So how did you spend your 4th of July?
Well, I kind of did it over 2 days because my cousin, the one who's getting married, hosted at his house because they had fireworks on the 3rd. And that's actually my hometown where he lives now. So we had the big, hamburgers and hot dogs thing and watched fireworks, played games. And then last night my mom and I went out to eat for supper, and then there was a county fair about 20 minutes from my apartment, and they were going to do fireworks. We'd never seen fireworks from there,
Oh,
so
okay.
we went over there and watched fireworks and had a pancake supper at Cracker Barrel.
Did you win a little bear or something at any of the games? You didn't go.
Here's an idea of what the games are costing. They had like a like beer pong, like the college game. They had one, but it was like you were throwing it in the fish bowls, and you could win like a goldfish. It was $10 to have.
That's all you need is a goldfish.
Yeah, it's $10 for the bucket of balls. I'm like, you can go to Walmart here and get one for 50 cents if you really want to goldfish, and you got to carry it around at 90 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, nah.
That's hilarious.
But it was a good holiday. I worked. I mean, I wasn't off.
That clip Larry showed at the SparksCon, the first time I've seen Ron Mail speak. I've never seen him speak. He's like Harpo Marx to me. I've never watched him. Just down south of you, Dan, down near Tacoma. Yeah. He's Washington Staters.
It was funny. Steve had a video about the 4th, and he mentioned how nobody is working in America. And I said, I'm one of the ones that's working.
Oh, you had to go back to, you didn't get any extra time off?
No, I didn't have the day because we're retail.
I thought the U.S. pretty much shut down for like a couple of days there. Oh, there's Rob.
No.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Hey, Rob.
Not too bad. Yeah, so because I was always under the impression, so it was Tuesday was 4th of July. I figured everybody would have Monday off and it'd be like a 4-day weekend. Nothing but partying.
I mean, they would take Monday off with the extra day. I mean, the holiday itself was Tuesday for people to actually have off work. But I don't get either one in retail. Even though I don't work the retail side of it, I still go by the store hours.
Yeah. Oh, well, you made money.
Yeah, but I'm salary, so that money was going to be there whether I was there
or not.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Phone in sick.
Yeah, it's not like I got extra.
I hated being in sales. Phone in sick didn't help me at all because my phone would ring all frickin' day anyway, and I felt like I had to talk to customers. So there was no point pulling a phony sick day. You couldn't get away from it. Hey, Rob. Trevor's saying Trevor. Hello.
Good day, sir.
Rob came on right at the last minute there when we were on Steve's chat to say hello, and then we were gone.
Yeah, I know. I missed it.
Steve Miller is a top U.S. musician. Well, we'll see. Marcia's saying hi, Trevor. I broke down and ordered the MoFi Hotel California Ultra Disc an hour ago. It was a tough decision. Whoa. Is that like wow, that's the $175 freaking 45 RPM deal, isn't it?
Yeah, I kudos to the people that want to do that. I that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I'll tell you, I just don't hear.
I don't either.
That much of a difference.
Nope.
It's not enough to make me spend $175 worth versus 30.
Right.
It would have to be like, oh my God, the Eagles are sitting in my room with me. It would have to be mind blowing. Like this is incredible.
I'd rather spend that 175 on I don't know, something obscure like a
or something.
A UK Beatles first press of something. Or, whatever.
Yeah, but a lot of people buy these and they like them.
And you know what? Hats off to them. Just not my cup of tea. It's a lot of coin.
I wish if I had unlimited funds, I'd probably buy the odd one too. But I guess these
my years
are like I go out and buy a $180 Joe Strummer box set, and everybody's thinking, "What an idiot! Who needs that?" So
right.
Yeah,
my ears are shit. I can't tell the difference. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I can. There was if you ever go on the Steve Hoffman forums, do you guys ever go on there?
Occasionally.
So you know Steve's an engineer, right?
Yeah.
He's got a thread running now that he went into a recording studio and they took a master, and then they made a vinyl or however they make it. They made a copy close to the master. Then they made one on Super Audio CD, and they made one on regular CD, and then he sampled them all to see if he could really tell much of a difference. He said they all sounded incredible. He didn't downplay any of them, but he said the vinyl definitely sounded a bit more revealing for the music. But he said the CD sounded better than the SACD. Now people are paying $50 for SACDs.
Wow.
And 20 for regular CDs, and so everybody was kind of shocked at that.
Huh.
Yeah. So it made me feel good that I traded my SACD player for a regular one.
I've never owned an SACD.
Oh, some of them sound
I have-
unbelievably good.
I bought one by mistake, but didn't know that my player could play it. That's that Dillard and Clark CD that I have.
Yeah, most of them are hybrid, so they have a layer for CD and for SACD.
Yeah, I have that one, and then I've got the Gilded Palace of Sin, are both SACDs,
Yeah.
and they sound
I
great.
still have quite a few. Like the ones that were hybrid, I kept most of mine.
It's the closest thing to a CD
Christian.
sounding like a record, in my opinion.
Hey, Jack. Some of them don't sound any better though. Like some you overpay for them, and you listen to them, and they sound.
Yeah, I mean because you pay the $40-$50 and you don't get bonus cuts or anything.
I bought the Japanese ones are called SHM SACDs, and I love that record, Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder, and they put that on an SHM SACD. I thought this is going to be unbelievable. I paid like $60 for it, had it shipped over. It was one of the most lifeless CDs I've ever. It's like they sucked everything right out. I'm listening to it, going, "What they do to this record is like they put a cover over the speakers or something." So
there's rumors that they're going to release, I think, about 200 songs from the Key of Life sessions, because it's the copyright year, and so they're needing to do a box set or something, and they have like 200 songs.
Instant purchase for me. I was just listening to the album again today. I think that is a masterpiece.
I know I've said that before, but I saw that tour a few years ago.
Oh man,
he did it in its entirety.
Wow, that must have been amazing.
It was great.
The Eagles library in my collection, I already had the others when DSD Gate had broke. Oh, about MoFi. Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a digital source scandal at MoFi.
The Alice Cooper reissues. Wonder if they're selling okay. I don't know. They're kind of expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they are, from what I've heard.
I just got my regular Alice Cooper CDs. I don't think I need the remasters. I don't listen to them that much, but some people are big fans. I get it. So tonight we're going to talk about our just some of the great musicians that came out of the U.S., kind of in honor of the 4th of July, and celebrate with our American friends. It took a while to get it through your guys' head what we were going to do, but we finally.
I was on right away. I was on board. It was good.
Sam, it was like, I could only pick Tom Petty. I can't pick.
And he's the American of the lot.
Yeah, I know. Like
I just want to do my nation proud.
We won't hold it against you, Sam.
Yeah, I was ready to jump through the computer and grab him by the neck.
That's why I'm wearing a Van Morrison shirt. Well, I picked my favorite opera singers from the U.S., so that's what I'm going to go with.
That works. I tried to go a little bit off. I tried to be a little unpredictable. There's 3 or 4 that probably everybody's going to guess if they know me, but I think the other few I picked some other artists that
I tried a little bit, for
attention.
I was quite surprised that I didn't own as much American music as I thought I owned, which surprised me. I mean, biggest part of my collection is Canadian music because that's my thing, and I have a ton of British music. I have a lot of American, but I thought I would have owned a lot more than I did. I was quite surprised.
Wow. Well, there you go. There's your next journey.
There you go.
Dan says, who do you like better, Johnny Rivers, Billy Ocean, or Greg Lake? Well, I'm afraid of water.
I would say Johnny Rivers, Dan.
I would say Greg Lake.
I have no opinion.
Greg Lake, because he sang on the first Crimson album, and some of the songs he did with Emerson, Lake and Palmer are incredible. Lucky Man and In the Beginning and all those songs. So Billy Ocean, I haven't got a clue. Where does Dan come up with this stuff?
He studies beforehand.
I heard the Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty song on the radio and never knew they did a song. Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, it's on Belladonna.
They did a couple.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing record.
And
Jack,
they
you should
won
get that's an album you should pick up.
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks' Belladonna album. It's a great record.
2 of the best duets of all time are on that album.
Yep.
Which Keith speakers did you get? May I ask? They make great speakers. Okay, why don't we get started?
Let's do it.
The Beach Boys are made in the USA. Yes,
Indeed.
certified.
So was I.
And Sam, you go first. Is that
I can go
okay?
first.
Yeah, he
would
should. He's
love-
the American,
I
so
would love nothing
Oh,
more
that's
than
true.
right.
Rob?
That's right, Levon, as they call me, which leads me to number 10 on my list, Mr. Levon Helm
Damn, I almost picked him.
of the
How can you
band.
call that an American band? Is one American out of 5?
No, it's not the band. It's the artist,
It's the artist.
the musician.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Levon's,
Did you read the email, Rob?
I did. I have that same one, by the way, and I think that's a terrible recording.
The first couple of songs are, but this was
Yeah.
given to me by Aaron Mutha Alamere. Who always finds the craziest.
Yeah, he
things.
does
But
find some weird
again,
stuff.
for anybody who doesn't know, Levon Helm, probably I don't know, maybe the best singer out of the band.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody's favorite, but he had like that Arkansas drawl to him. He had a great style of drumming. Loved how he sang. I loved his folk stuff when he was older. But I mean, obviously with the band, he had that Southern snarl with, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Ophelia. Just the weight. I mean, he's saying lead on the weight, for crying out loud. So I love to watch Levon drum, but you turn him around, he's playing mandolin. He'll play, some, whatever the band needed, because that's how everybody in the band was, which I should mention, I believe today is Robbie Robertson's 80th birthday. So
Oh, wow.
happy
Oh,
birthday to
no.
Robbie Robertson. But yeah, I mean, this is the only band vinyl I have, because I tried to pull all vinyl tonight. So
Wow.
I got
look
CDs.
out.
Yeah, I did all vinyl tonight, but Levon Helm is breaking the top 10 for me.
Boy, you
That's
got serious
the
consideration.
band. That's the band from. I think that's the early '80s, isn't it? That's the Richard Bell, and
Oh, is it?
that's post Robbie Robertson.
It's 94. Yeah.
'94. Okay, so
Charleston,
wow.
South Carolina.
Boy, that can't be long after that Richard Manuel took his life.
It was before.
Yeah, it wasn't long after.
It was before. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
he died
intrigued
before that?
Because he died in 86 or so.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Rick
right, and
Danko
then-
died in like 99.
Yeah, something
But
like that.
this came out right after like the album with Atlantic City, because they do Atlantic City on here, and a few of the other songs
Oh,
from
yeah,
that
that's a
album
great song.
from
They do that
Jericho.
great.
Is it Jericho?
Jericho,
Yeah.
which is
so
a pretty good
that's
album,
Jericho,
actually.
Yeah.
The Jericho tour. Yeah.
And they do a song called Remedy, which was written by Canadian Colin Linden. That's from Blackie and the Rodeo.
It's on that album.
Colin,
Who I've met.
shout out.
I've met
Yeah,
Colin.
I've met him too.
Yeah.
Cool guy. They're really cool bookshelf speakers. You guys should check those speakers out online at the LS50s. Really neat looking. They're like a cube, but they are powerful. Billy Squire, Donnie Iris, Marshall Crenshaw. That's 3 good ones.
I love Marshall.
Wait, what exactly is the theme for today? Just artists from the we're celebrating music of artists from the U.S. in celebration of the 4th of July. So just some of our favorite artists, musicians,
Like our ticker says along the bottom of the screen there.
that have a passport that says USA on it. Thanks, man. I'm happy with them. They give out 3D like sound. Yeah, they got it. That'd be awesome to hear those. I just read the message there. Okay, I just read the message there.
We're like the news channel. No one ever reads the ticker.
Yeah,
along the
breaking.
bottom.
I put breaking news. and
Breaking
then-
news.
Okay, Rob.
All right. Favorite artists that are American. I'm going to get this one out of the way right off the hop so you guys can heap as much abuse on me as you want. Here it comes. Bam.
Eric Carmen?
Taylor Swift.
No.
I had to do it. I've unabashedly admitted I'm a Swiftie. I really like Folklore, Evermore, and Midnights, so that's Evermore.
Yeah.
I don't
How do
need to
you
say
rate her as I've never really listened to too much of her music, and she started off basically playing a guitar, right? I don't know what
Here's
she's
the
done
thing.
now, but you rate her as a good guitar player, or is she just
No,
kind
no,
of
not at all. Not
She's
at all. I mean, I can play guitar as good as she does,
Oh, really? Okay.
which is not saying much.
She's
But
not
here's
Joni
the thing.
Mitchell on the guitar.
All joking aside, I have tremendous respect for her because, first of all, she started off as a 15-year-old in a
Well, she
male-dominated
started off
business.
as a baby.
As a baby, Rob. Yeah.
In the music industry, smart asses. She was 15. And yes, her dad bought a record contract for her, whatever. But, you know, she's a 15-year-old in a male-dominated industry, is the co-writer on every single song she's ever released. She plays a few instruments, not a great guitar player, but the point is she still plays it, which is not something that can be said for a lot of artists that are popular today. She plays piano. She produces her albums along with other producers. She produces her shows. I've got respect for her. Is the early stuff any good? No, it's bubblegum country pop, and that's fine. It is what it is. There's an audience for that. I think the stuff she put out in the pandemic, Folklore and Evermore, were a lot more mature. They were sort of indie-ish records. I got no reason to hate on her like a lot of people do. There are a lot of people that hate her just because it's popular shit that's on the radio, so it must obviously be garbage.
She's not in my wheelhouse, but I got a lot of respect for her as a
Well, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
So,
what about like she? From what I know, very little about her, but I thought she was very highly influenced as a kid by like James Taylor, and
oh yeah,
she was named after James Taylor.
Yep.
And Joni Mitchell and those artists. So
oh yeah,
kind of what I
Yep.
think the early stuff I might like better.
yeah. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and it's certainly geared towards, you know, teenage girls and, you know, young people and whatever. But I don't mind the later stuff. So,
Cool.
also
good.
not hard on the eyes, in my opinion. So,
Boston 2, Texas nothing.
what time did the Jays start?
They're rained out.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, for now.
Wasn't
anyway. It's
wasn't
just-
Manoah supposed to start tonight?
Manoah starts Friday night in Detroit.
Isn't that a joke? He does
that's
two
what I
starts in
was
the
saying.
minors, shits the bed on the first one, does okay
Yeah.
on the second one, and we go, well, let's bring him back.
He allowed 11 runs or 11 hits in the
Yeah.
first game against 18-year-old rookies.
It was not even a ball.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think they're bringing him back way too soon.
Well, he came up. Yeah. Well, you know, they need him.
Well,
We'll
but
see. This
the
could
other
compare-
the
this
other
could compare-
encouraging news though is apparently Ryu is only a couple of weeks away from
Yeah, yeah.
coming
Oh,
back.
by the way, hey, you can't see it, but I'm wearing my Jays jersey tonight that I got for my birthday.
But let's
That's
leave
a
it
nice
on there.
jersey. I like this shirt better, but you know.
Well, I don't have one of those.
Well, I'll have to get you one.
You will. Okay, my turn. I'm going with my favorite bass player and great session musician, Tony Levin. There's Tony right now. Tony has his own albums, has a resume of session work that would go on for, if we mentioned all the artists, it would go on for 2 hours. Played from everywhere with John Lennon, and he puts out his own albums. There's World Diary. This one, these are all instrumental albums, and played King Crimson, one of my favorite bands. I've got to see him live a few times, and he's on tour right now with Peter Gabriel. So just incredible musician. Tony Levin, my number 10.
Interesting. Good pick. I thought about some session guys, but I stayed to full on.
You could say the same with the Beatles being for teenage girls.
True.
Well,
Well,
and they-
initially, I mean, you look at those concerts and you like the Ed Sullivan concert, everyone's
Yeah.
just a bunch of scrutiny.
absolutely
Make the same
early
argument.
days. Early days.
Which is funny though, because when they were in the cavern, they were predominantly like a guys band, weren't they? Because they were
Yeah.
greasers.
Yeah, yeah. One day I will make the trip to Visions here in Alberta. Here, the only place that sells them. Oh, okay, for the speakers. I also agree with you, Rob. Wasn't much of a fan of hers prior to the last 3 albums. Are the artists?
Good. I'm glad someone
No,
thinks I'm
the
not
artists
full of
can
shit.
be deceased. Well, I picked deceased ones anyway.
My first one was Deceased, Leave on Hill.
That's true. So I guess that answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay, you're next, Sam.
Next, I'm going to go with a living artist, one who I know Glenn and I hope will make another album sometime soon. I just showed this in my recent finds video, and I've been on a big kick. It's probably why he's so high right now, but I do love him to death. I'm talking about Mr. Tom Waits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is one of the best debut albums of all time. Completely unlike his most recent albums. It's a completely different musician, essentially. But what makes Tom Waits such a unique musician is you listen to any of his albums since 1980, he can do like 6 different voices. Like he has like characters. Like he does like this growl, like this almost like bleeding from his mouth. He'll do like
his Captain Beefheart voice.
His Beefheart voice, but then he still kind of has that jazz crooner still buried in him deep down. But then he'll also do like another kind of like beatnik spoken word kind of thing, and he just does all sorts of things. And he plays beautiful drunken saloon piano.
Yeah,
he plays guitar. Like if you look at the instruments that he plays a bunch of weird instruments in all of his albums. But his songwriting is what puts him over the top. I mean, you listen to, I Hope That I Don't Fall in Love with You, or Coming Up to the House, or Hold On, songs like that. I mean, for all of his comedic type songs that he has, and for all of his like hard blues type songs, he can make. I was listening to him driving to work the other day, and I was listening to a song called was it My Pony? Oh, it's called Pony.
Yeah, it's a great song.
From Mule Variations. I was like, man, I forget how good that song is.
Yeah.
It just breaks your heart. And I love Tom Waits to death. I would love to see him do one more album.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he's one of those, he doesn't really have a bad album.
I gave Larry Graves the Bad As Me album for our CD review this week. I'm dying to hear what he thinks of it. I just thought it was more probably his most Beefheart album to me, I thought, vocally in that. So I thought Larry might like that one.
I've never listened to it.
It's not his best. You've never heard it?
No.
Oh, it's a great record. You got to get that.
I know Randy just showed it too on one of his videos for like late career masterpieces.
Yeah, I love it.
He was good in that zombie movie that he was in too.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He does some cool movies.
I can't remember what it was. The one with Bill Murray and Adam Driver.
Something The Undead.
Something like that. He played this crazy wild man that lived in the forest.
And he was also in the Ballad of Buster Suggs, the Coen Brothers movie.
He was great in that.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He was the old producer.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah. Rob, number nine.
All right. Number 9, someone I've showed many times who I think, and I've said, is the greatest female singer of all time, Linda Ronstadt. Her voice to me is just the greatest that ever has been.
And she can rock.
Her stuff in the 70s was awesome. Not a big fan. She sort of went that kind of Spanish route in the 80s, which didn't really appeal to me. And she did that country stuff, which didn't appeal to me. But her 70s stuff was incredible. This is Simple Dreams from 77. And I love this because this has her cover of Tumbling Dice by the Rolling Stones, which is my favorite song of all time. So, Linda Ronstadt.
I really enjoyed that album she did with Dolly Parton and Emmylou Harris, the trio.
Called The Trio.
That's a really nice album.
I had it once upon a time.
Yeah.
I don't anymore.
Okay, my number 9 is a gentleman who I discovered when I discovered Jackson Browne on the For Every Man album back in 1972 or whenever this came out, 73. And right away I was drawn to this beautiful acoustic guitars. It was just dreamy, and some of the pedal. There was just a lot of these really beautiful little guitar pieces floating all through this whole album, and it was David Lindley, and became a fan ever since. We lost him last year or the year before. It hasn't been that long since David.
It was earlier this year, yeah.
But he also had his own solo albums, which is a great record right here, David Lindley, El Rey OX, where he does a great cover of real rockin' song, Mercury Blues. Fantastic. So David Lindley's my number 9. Wonderful guitar player.
He is great.
Oh, Harvey Mandel. Yes. Great pick. I'll go with singer-songwriter. I don't know Duncan Sheik.
Yeah.
Who's he? Is he a solo guy or?
Yeah. It's well, they had a big hit.
Ben Folds, that's a
Ben
good
Folds, I do know. I'm kind of a casual fan.
Barely Breathing was his song in the 90s, 1996. Duncan
And
Sheik.
Johnny Cash, of course.
Johnny Cash, he was my number 10 until I did some rearranging and Tom Waits made the cut instead.
Yeah, Harvey Mandel, what a great guitar player.
And a great host on Deal or No Deal.
That's Howie.
Oh.
Can you choose between apples and oranges? It's personal choice, subject thinking.
What?
That's deep. That's too deep for me. I like both apples and oranges. So they're both.
But if you had to pick one,
I think apples, because oranges would, if I ate them all the time, would probably the acid in the orange would get to my stomach after a while.
I like apples better.
So I'm an apple.
They're less maintenance. The orange, you got to peel and you get those fuzzies on it. And,
Favorite apple?
Honeycrisp.
Bingo! What a great apple that is.
Oh man, I didn't even know about that till a couple years ago when my wife bought him. She goes, "Have you ever had a Honeycrisp?" I'm like, "Sounds like a cereal, right?"
Yeah.
Which it is, but I'd always had like Macintoshes when I was a kid. But
oh, way better than a Mac.
Honeycrisp is amazing.
Nothing wrong with the Mac, but yeah. Thought to be a big step up from the older ones. Yes, they are. We're talking speakers. As a music fan who hasn't given Tom Waits a substantial listen, how would you sell him to me? Depending on if you want something that's probably easier on the ears, the album
for vocals and songwriting, like this is like a full-on singer-songwriter, like right there with Carole King or Jackson Browne, people like that. This and Heart of Saturday Night is a very good sister album. The album that came after this.
But also maybe check some of the great covers like Springsteen doing Jersey Girl and
there's
Rod Stewart's Downtown Train.
There's a female tribute album to him. I think it's called Coming Up to the House. And it's
I've been looking at buying that album for a long time.
People like Alfie O'Donovan and people like that are on there.
But I would definitely start with that first album, Closing Time. And if you like the blues, Blue Valentine is an incredible record. That's pretty much a whole blues album. Saw Linda for 99 cents at a used record store.
If it's the stuff from the 70s,
that's pretty good. She must be really struggling these days.
If it's from the 70s, Jack, pick it up. You won't be disappointed.
I think I paid $12 to see her. Grand Funk Railroad, yes.
Yeah.
Larry Graves watching from his bed is probably going, yeah. I'm not going to overthink it. Nirvana, The Strokes, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, REM, Metallica. I wonder what era Caesar's a part of. Michael Jackson, Eminem, Jay-Z. I can't stand that frickin' Jay-Z. I don't know anything about his music, but he just bugs me.
I thought about Fleetwood Mac, but I decided they weren't American enough.
Yeah, they're not an American band.
Well, Lindsey Buckingham, great guitar player. Bob Welsh. Well, we were really on a speaker kick here. I think Keith should be sponsoring this program. Or CAF, or however they pronounce it. Krabby Appleton is my favorite apple. I'm more bananas and pineapples. I like them both too. Mellencamp John Mellencamp. Yeah, those are great records.
Thought about him.
Cantaloupe. Yeah, I love Cantaloupe. The only thing I don't like is watermelon because all the seeds and everything. It's kind of a waste of time.
Cantaloupe has a horrible smell, I think.
Closing Time is the name of the album.
There's a song on it called Closing Time, but it's not that's like it's like an instrumental.
Yeah. Would you rather eat a plantain or dig coins out of a fountain? I think I'd take
dig coins out of the fountain.
Yeah.
And then I'll go buy records with them.
Oh, there you
John
go.
Fogerty is about as American as you can get. He's like apple pie.
Stay tuned.
Whichever type of apples we get from BC are always nice and juicy. Well, that's very nice.
This chat is something tonight.
Okay, so whose turn is it?
Sam, number 8.
Number 8. I'm trying to see what this is in the back. Oh, So this was interesting to me because I wanted to pick somebody that influenced me as a musician, if you want to even call me that. And we weren't picking bands, and so I was thinking about this band, and I was like, well, who would I pick out of the the members that I would choose as like a favorite musician? So I'm going to go with their main guitarist because this guitar playing strongly influenced me as a acoustic guitar picker, and that is Mr. Seth Avett from the Avett Brothers. This is one of his little known solo albums. He's come out with 4 or 5 solo albums over the years. This one came out in 2017. It's all original stuff outside of the Avett Brothers. He plays all the instruments on it. It's very loosely recorded in hotel rooms, his basement studio, things like that. But I picked him not because of his solo output, but simply because his guitar playing, though simple, is essentially how I try to copy guitars. Between Seth Avett and somebody else that might make an appearance later on my list. I just rip Seth Avett's guitar style all the time, and so I had to put him up there. Plus, what a beautiful harmony vocalist! He's the high tenor in the Avett Brothers. Beautiful voice. Kind of like if you took like the Wilson brothers, I guess he's more of like the Carl because he has like the sweeter kind of tone in his voice, whereas Scott is more of the front man. So I'm going to go with Mr. Seth Avett.
When his solo albums, are they basically just guitar and vocal, or are there a lot of
a lot of piano stuff because he plays really pretty piano. Some of his early stuff is a little bit raw. I mean, he'll play like a little bit of like rudimentary drumming with some like maybe electric, but it's pretty just like it's almost like Nebraska type style.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like
that's what I would be hoping.
Yeah. That one's a little bit more polished because by that point the Avetts were a huge band. Actually, that album came out just a year after one of their albums, and it's got some production on it. But I mean, I like them all a lot. I bought them all the last month, and really have been getting into them.
Cool. I should stream some of those because I might like those myself.
Yeah.
Rob.
Okay. I know Sam will agree with this pick, but he might give me crap that I ranked it as low as I did. If I can get it out of the sleeve.
I know it's coming.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
So Tom Petty is the guy you're choosing out of the band?
Pick anybody. But yeah, I mean, Petty or Campbell doesn't matter. I looked at the band as an entity. So I don't think it needs any explanation. They're fantastic. I love them. There you go.
I've heard of him.
You may have.
That's I thought about Mike Campbell. I was going to do him, but I figured somebody else would.
I didn't focus on an individual person. I just looked at the act. So I looked at that band.
So you broke the rules, is what you're saying.
You're going to have to leave.
No.
You're a rebel.
I didn't recall seeing that anywhere in the rules. So
a musician. Never said bands. It said musician.
These are hard rules.
It said from a band or a solo.
Well, you guys, I'm going to retweak my list then. Yes, on you both.
I don't know what happened. They don't have. They can't.
Okay, no, you guys just keep doing your thing.
The main theme of the stream is just tick Rob off.
Go ahead. Do you want to destroy the whole theme? That's.
His number one is John Lennon.
Listen, this is the way it works in this little dynamic of ours. Glenn is the curmudgeon-y old bugger who's also the boss. Sam is the looks, and I'm the rebel. I mean, that's how it works.
Johnny Emo was a rebel.
That's why it works. It's a perfect.
It's a good dynamic.
That's why we have 300,000 views.
Curmudgeon. I love that.
Yeah, I will fall in line for the remainder of my picks.
No, Glenn is more of the Colonel Tom. He's just trying to get things going for his own gain, for all that money that comes through for him.
Yeah.
I always think of Glenn more like Walter Matthau and Grumpy Old Men.
The more crusty I get, the more money they give me. That's what I'm noticing.
It's rolling in tonight.
I'm really sweet, people don't tune in.
True.
Okay, I'm going with a jazz artist. This one album by this artist might be my favorite jazz album of all time. If it isn't, it's right up there. And it's Charles Mingus.
Ooh, cool.
That was really the album that really got me into this guy. I think I only ever had one other Charles Mingus album. But I bought this. Now he's a jazz bass player and composer, and got this set. I've been bragging about how I got it so cheap for $120 when it's selling for 250. But man, as I'm going through this, I am just like going, oh my God, there's way more to this guy than just Charles Mingus. And this one, I've been slowly going through this set because there's like 8 records. And I'm playing this one here. It's called Charles Mingus 3 or 4 Shades of Blues. You got to hear this album. It is freaking fantastic.
I saw you put that up, and I was looking for it online. I couldn't find it.
Wow, like just unbelievably good. It's got the first side is pretty much all jazz blues, and it's got Larry Coryell playing guitar on it. And boy, does he play some wicked stuff.
Is it 1970?
Side 2 is more of a straighter jazz type, bebop type thing, but just a great record. I'm blown away.
Was it 1970, the recordings?
This was 73, I think.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to look for that.
Yeah, just a fantastic record. So Charles Mingus is my number 8.
I had Miles on my list at one point, but
you can buy the CD set in Canada for $70, so it must be pretty cheap in the US. You should consider it.
Tell me what it's called again, Glenn.
It's called Changes. The Atlantic Changes, the complete 1970s Atlantic studio recordings. I bet you it's probably only about $40 in the States.
I'm checking it out.
But just a wealth of great music, man. That guy was amazing.
On a side, I saw that the Monkees Blu-ray was like $150 on Rhino for 4th of July.
No way. Oh,
The show.
jeez.
Jeez. Where did you get your box? Did you get it online, or was that your record store?
No, I bought it at on Amazon.ca for when they first put the pre-order up. They made a mistake.
Rough Trade Records has it for $85 on CD.
Wow, it's cheaper up here.
That's through Rough Trade. That was the issue I was having, was that it was too expensive everywhere I was looking.
And like I said, $69 on Amazon.ca. You should order it there. That's with U.S. exchange. You're probably
here we go. Amazon audio CD, $63.
Yeah, wow, it's even cheap. It's cheaper in Canada for some reason. That's weird.
Yep, and that's being sold through Amazon. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my cart and
Yeah,
watch the price drop a little bit.
It's excellent. Let me get to a couple of.
Hey, Brian Massey down there.
Danny Partridge, absolutely. What an incredible bass player.
Don't call me that name, please.
Wait, is Lindsay and yes, next, but yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to include Fleetwood Mac, but they were too British, and apparently I didn't follow the instructions, and now I can't fit them in my top 10. So I got to fall in line, or I get kicked out of the Eagles.
No, we'll keep you.
Oh, okay.
We're not bitter. We just.
I'm still Don Felder of this group.
We're more cruel than bitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Les Paul and Leo Fender and D.W. Washburn.
D.W. Washburn.
Grew up with
I'm
the
a Fender guy.
2000s music, probably same as Rob. I'm older than Sam for sure. I want to see if he chooses some newer artists. Whoa, the pressure's on.
I did grow up in I was a teenager in the 90s.
I might be 45, Caesar. You don't know.
I was a recovering drug addict by the 90s. It's crazy. You guys are so young.
Sam's still trying to grow his first mustache.
Yeah.
I can't grow a mustache. Yeah, that's true.
I love Supreme is worth a listen. I'm enjoying it more than I didn't like that album for the longest time, and I just got my vinyl copy from Rod, the Happy Hippie guy. My daughter brought it up for me, and first couple of listens, I'm starting to get more into it.
It's very good. His early stuff. If you want to get into talking to Jack, do My Favorite Things. Like that's kind of like his early, like that was like his breakthrough, and My Favorite Things was kind of his hit. And then go from there. Kind of, it's not like Kind of Blue at all.
Yeah.
If you like Kind of Blue, you might not like Love Song.
Yeah, Kind of Blue is bluesy jazz. I mean, it's a great record. But check out the Charles Mingus Hum. That's one you might like.
You were talking about that so much the other day. I pulled it back out and listened to it. It had been a while. And,
it's a great album, man.
It's good. It's really
got
good.
a real gospel feel to it. for
A lot of it.
instrumental music.
Yeah, and then some of that like fast bop too.
Yeah. I did a video yesterday, 5 Americans bands. Pick the Residents, Jay Giles, yes, Alice Cooper, Exodus, and MC5. Wow, great picks. MC5 opened for The Who in 1968 on the Tommy Tour in Toronto at when they played at Exhibition Place. Favorite Jimi Hendrix album, Electric Ladyland. I'm probably the only one voting on this, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one.
Good call, MC. Yeah. Gil Evans' orchestra was killer jazz. Yes, and did a lot of great work with Miles. Coltrane, Blue Train.
That was like one of the new.
Brian, how you doing, buddy?
Is he still in Nashville? Are you still in Nashville, Brian?
Paul Butterfield was considered for me, but I know what you're going. Butterfield and Bread, yeah. Dan's like I don't know how he sits down here and thinks of all this crap. He's got quite a comedic mind. Sam, what is your fave Monkees album?
Good Times. It's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Mine's Headquarters, but he didn't ask me.
I don't have one. I don't get
Monkees. But very good. A Kind of Blue I think is better. I agree. Kind of Blue is like way better. That's just my opinion.
It's close for me. It's very close.
Love Supreme has the same credentials. It's just as important an album.
And Love Supreme is more of a concept album. If you can have concept instrumental albums.
Supposedly, Love Supreme is the best jazz album of all time. That's why I brought it up. Well, I thought it depends who you ask. Like
straight jazz is kind of
those two albums are probably neck and neck for top jazz album. I think Kind of Blue is the greatest selling jazz album of all time. I don't like commercial Coltrane. I like commercial Coltrane better than it's easier, a little bit easier on the ears for me than the real wild, crazy stuff. REM, Talking Heads, Metallica, Eagles, Ramones. Yes.
I just got this through Rhino. Rhino's doing a high fidelity series, and they just put out Coltrane Sound, which is really, really good. Glenn, I think you would like this a lot.
Wow.
It's called Coltrane Sound. Can't remember what year it's from. 64.
Oh, cool.
So it's pretty good. It sounds great.
For that.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Brian is in Nashville.
He's leaving the
9th because maybe he isn't gone to Nashville yet.
Oh. Swing by Virginia, Brian.
Oh, really, Sam? Wow, dude, you look a lot younger. So
I'm not
in age then.
I'm not in my 40s. Either.
Look at that guy. Just when we love our Sam. You look so young.
I'm a very hard 14.
Weren't we all hard when we were 14?
Wow, Good Times is new. Pretty, yeah. It's comparatively new.
It's 7 years old now. It's crazy.
Kenny Burrell, Midnight Blue is a nice jazz guitar album. That's on my bucket list, that album. I've never heard it, and I see it all the time. And I think it was one of those ones they've reissued now. Aren't they on the Blue Note? Yeah, those two are neck and neck since Kind of Blue was after A Love Supreme. How about Best Arctic Monkeys album? I can't work through that one. I don't know them. And you guys?
No.
Nope.
Can't do it.
My best friend could tell you. My best friend Chris, but no.
Didn't Coltrane go way off on his skronky playing near the end?
Yeah, I mean he was on a lot of substances.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had trouble. If you read Miles Davis' autobiography, not a biography, but Miles' actual autobiography, there's a lot of stuff on Coltrane in there.
Yeah, there was a great thing that I think Impulse put out. It was like Coltrane as a sideman. It was a compilation. It was really good. A lot of stuff with him, with Miles, Thelonious Monk, stuff like that, where he's playing the sessions. It's really cool.
I've never heard that album. Kilimanjaro album.
I think. Do I have that?
I have a lot of Miles Davis albums on CD. I must have about 20 of them, and I don't have that.
Do I have that? I might have that. I don't remember. That was like when he was at 68.
Paul Simon is definitely American and an amazing musician. There's some great interviews going on with Paul now on different shows and everything that he's promoting his new album.
Yeah.
There's one in Canada they did on.
I saw that.
There's a station called Q. It's kind of a show called Q. And that was a really good interview.
I watched it about half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Because he was on CBS here.
I didn't get a chance to see that one.
Yeah. It's sad about his being able to play, he said. With his
there's Brian giving us some stuff on the Arctic Monkeys.
AM.
AM is their best album.
That's the one my friend Chris told me to listen to. That's the only Arctic Monkeys album I've listened to.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. That's why I keep seeing Kenny Burrell Midnight Blue. I keep seeing it like at an affordable price and keep thinking I'll pull the channel or pull the plug on it. Kansas, the state, and the band. Both of them. He likes both.
That's my top 10 favorite albums.
Amazing lyrics. Yes, it does. It's a great song.
Listen to the version by Justin Townes Earl if you don't know it. Fantastic.
Okay. Number 7, right?
6. Right?
6?
10, 9, 8. Yeah, number 7. You're right. This was just coming down to where I was going to put this guy. I knew he was going to make the list. I've seen him a bunch of times. I'm going to see him in September. You talk about just a great musician.
Oh, yeah.
This guy right here, Marty Stewart.
Great pick.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just musician, he might be the best on my list because he can play any instrument like he's a pro at that instrument. Guitar, fiddle, mandolin. He can just lay it down there. And he's a great singer. He's a great songwriter. He's got a great tone to his B. Bender guitar playing, his Clarence White guitar. The Superlatives are a great backing group, but Marty Stewart, as a musician, as a writer, as a performer, he had to make my top 10. And the thing is, I don't like all of Marty Stewart's stuff. Like his early pop country stuff, no thanks.
Yeah, it's like new country. I don't like it.
But when he did like Bluebird Cafe, like that album with like Johnny Cash and Earl Scruggs, and he was in bluegrass. I mean, the dude can play, and he gets better every time I see him. It's a better show, and as he's getting older, now he's in his creeping up in his mid-60s. He's still just putting it out there.
That's a great freaking album.
This is the newest Altitude. Check it out. Chris Prophy just did a review on it.
I haven't watched Chris. I saw Chris did the review. I haven't watched it yet.
I've done one as well, but yeah. If you like the Byrds, you have to listen to this album. You have to.
Yeah, it's a great record.
Marty Stewart.
Choice. Excellent musician. Rob.
All right, number 7 for me. Now that I understand, I'm catching on. So this is going to be an album by a Canadian band that has an American in it, and I'm picking this American because if I didn't pick this American, it would be wrong of me to do this. So from the wonderful Canadian band Blue Rodeo, I'm picking this fella right here. Where is he? Right there in the plaid shirt. My friend, Bob Egan. 17 years with Blue Rodeo. He's on 3 Wilco albums. He played with Freakwater. He played with the Sadies. He played with Nico Case. He played with Billy Bragg. He's been on 135 albums. We counted the other day when he was over at my
pedal
house.
steel, right?
Pedal steel, mandolin, and electric guitar and acoustic guitar. He's known as a pedal steel player, but he actually started as a guitar player. So because he's my friend, because he's been on 130 albums, because he's from Chicago, even though he lives in Kitchener, Ontario, I would be remiss if I didn't pick him as one of my favorite American musicians.
Very cool.
Bob Egan.
Right on. I like that. Shout out to Bob.
Not that he's going to watch this, but,
Oh, you never know.
I doubt it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest coming through the back.
Yeah. And here he is.
Like Jerry Springer.
I do have his guitar sitting over against my couch. He left it here when he was here.
Oh, wow. You didn't upload your videos yet you did with him.
No, I'm still editing it because it ended up
Okay.
being quite long. So it's going to be a 2 or 3 parter. So
No.
it's coming.
Okay, I'm going with a guitarist who's actually the same age as mine. He was a phenom as a kid. His father, Johnny Otis, was a huge star, Willie and the Hand Jive and all this stuff. And his
Shuggy.
son, Shuggy Otis.
Yeah.
I mean, an amazing guitar player. There's Shuggy there. He started playing his dad's band, playing in bars, and he had to wear a phony mustache and try to make himself look old enough to get into the bar so he could play because he was so young. He was like 14, 15 years old doing bars when you had to be 21. And I've got a ton of his albums, but he also did like that famous album, the Super Sessions album with Al Cooper and Stephen Stills and Mike Bloomfield. He did a part 2, Al Cooper and Shuggy Otis. There's some incredible guitar playing on that. His latest album was called Interfusion, which is instrumental album, but really good. Like a lot of I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like R&B or something. It's soul and rock. Excellent album.
One of the very first albums my dad ever gave me was Shuggy's Boogie.
Oh yeah,
because he's like, you've got to broaden your musical horizons, so you got to listen to this. I don't have it anymore. I don't, or maybe I do. I think I have it on CD.
Oh, he's an incredible artist. He's a great guitar player. Yeah. Okay. Okay, another smart ass comment from Dan. Okay, Trevor. There's not a human being on earth. Well, there's 2 of them tied. Kid Rock and Ted Nugent.
I knew you were going to say that.
Human beings that ever freaking lived, ever.
Talking about wanker.
And I can't even. That's as long as his name's going to show up on my channel. I just can't do it. I don't care if he's.
Didn't I say Kid Rock was a wanker when I talked about him the other day?
Yeah,
because he is.
Oh, there's more. Look, Martindale. CSNY Teach Your Children could have been on Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Southern California, and
Jerry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia played steel guitar on that.
Yep.
Pedal steel. Oh, we're back to Ted Nugent. Strawberry Letter 23. That was his big hit, actually.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. I've heard y'all talk about him.
Oh, great guitar player. Number 6.
Well, speaking of great guitar players, Mr. John Mayer comes in at number 6. I mean, again, talking about he's a musician's musician. The dude can tear it up, and he did a very admirable thing the other night for Ed Sheeran. I don't know if you
did see that. Yeah,
all of that news. He had an up and coming or like a lesser known rapper that was going to open for him, and he had he had an accident and he couldn't be in it. So John Mayer opened for Ed Sheeran and did like 6 acoustic songs, then came out, played a couple of songs with Ed, and then as soon as he was done, flew to Boulder to play with Dead and Company.
Really, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's the real deal. I mean, this is his newest album. It's not my favorite. It's very 80s, but it has a lot of like 80s players on it, like Greg Philomanges, Steve Jordan is on here, Pino Palladino, who are always with him, Lenny Castro, the percussionist, and he's hung out with Crosby, Stills and Nash, and people like that. I mean, he's Buddy Guy, like all the blues guys, but he's played with B.B. King. So they respected him. B.B. King gave him kind of a blessing before he passed away. So John Mayer.
As a card carrying Swiftie, I have to hate him because
Oh yeah, that's
Swifties hate John Mayer. So
yeah,
my sisters are about the biggest Swifties ever, and they both love John Mayer. So there's rules to be broken here.
Okay.
All right, I'm up. Again, now that I fully understand the scope of the homework assignment this week.
We're glad, Rob.
You guys know that this woman would have to appear in my list. My fantasy wife, Susanna Hoffs. I was saying to someone in one of the comments of one of my videos earlier today, she could sing me the phone book, and I would be absolutely mesmerized. So, yeah.
Does she do stuff on her own now? Are they the Bangles together, or what happened?
No, the Bengals play one-off shows every now and then. She just put out a solo album 3 or 4 months ago. I haven't heard it yet because it's digital only, and I prefer to buy physical media. And now she's just put out a book, so she's out on a book tour.
Oh, interesting.
Speaking of-
like a autobiography?
No, just like a novel, like a fictional novel.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
So
Did you?
yeah, she could read me the phone book, and I'd be spellbound.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the latest podcast with Paul McCartney and Conan O'Brien
I have not listened to it yet.
from the Tribeca? I listened to it today while I was working. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
It's really good about his book.
Marcia, you poor girl.
Oh my stars!
Oh
Kid
boy.
Rock Dad's dealership.
Then he put his picture away.
That's too bad he wasn't still working there washing cars. That's where he belongs. Glenn, you don't like I don't like a little Wango Tango. I can't stand the man. I don't blame you on Kid Rock. Thanks. Strawberry
Hey.
Letter 23 was by Brothers Johnson.
Vinyl Richie.
Hey, Vinyl
Wow.
Richie. Yeah, but it was written by Shuggy Otis. Kid Stone is better. I don't know who that is. Is that Jack trying to be like Dan?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry, American, yes.
Oh shit! I
Chuck
forgot
Berry.
about Chuck Berry. Damn it.
Marty Ballin or Marty Stewart? Well, I love them both. I'm a big Jefferson Airplane fan, but I would go Marty Stewart as a musician.
I'm gonna go Martin Short.
Friends
Oh,
call
he's
him
not.
Marty.
He's not American though.
Good pick. I'm trying
He's
to get my
Canadian,
hands on
so
that
shit.
album, Bradley's Barn. I can't find it anywhere. I watched Rick Astley last night
Yeah.
on YouTube, and he was
I've seen
Phenomenal.
really,
He was amazing.
really.
Hell of a guitar player. Hell of a drummer.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Rick Astley is a guitar
everyone thinks it's just never going to give you up, but he embraces that. But he put
player. I
on
thought
one.
he was just like a David Cassidy of the freaking
Not a
90s
chance.
or
He's
whatever.
amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
His voice is fuller now that he's in his late 50s.
I'm in shock. I gotta watch that.
He totally embraces the gimmick that is never going to give you up, but he's a hell of a
Yeah.
musician.
Really? I'm absolutely in shock.
Yep.
LOL, yes, I don't know. The kids don't know. Yeah. You can't have Bradley's Barn, Glenn. I guess not. I've been told.
Or Maggie's Farm.
Yeah. Is it my turn? Who just went?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, Susanna
It'll
Hoffs.
be my turn. So we're at number 6. More jazz. We talked about him already to a point. Miles,
There you go.
just one of the most important musicians of all time. I read a quote the other day that said Miles Davis changed music about 5 times.
Mhm.
And
That's the truth.
just incredible. This is actually my favorite Miles Davis album, Jack Johnson. Only 2
Interesting.
songs on it, but just great playing, and John McLaughlin playing guitar, and just a fantastic record. But yeah, so Miles, enough said. You just need to say the first name like Cher
Yeah. or Sam. No.
or Sam.
Yeah.
Who does a better version of Strawberry Letter 23, Brothers Johnson or Shuggy Johnson? Yeah, both in their own way, I would say. Guitarist, Steve Vai, yes. Stevie Ray Vaughan, yes. Joe Walsh, yes.
Stay tuned.
Out of the 3 I've seen, Stevie Ray and Joe Walsh, I've never seen Steve Vai play.
And don't forget Steve Martin, the banjo player.
Bradley's Barn is rare because no one bought it, and if they did, the 200 or bought it, kept it. Yeah, pretty much. But it's a really cool. Have you ever heard that album, Sam?
Uh-uh.
Oh
don't
man,
know.
if you like Sweetheart of the Rodeo, holy crap! You go and check this album out.
And it's called Bradley's Barn.
Yeah, man, you'd love it. Just play the first line, be going, "Wow, how did I miss this?"
I've got stuff pulled up here. I've got that. I've got the Charles Mingus pulled up, so I'm gonna be
Sam's just spent about $200 tonight,
yeah.
and you're up next, Sam.
I am up next.
Number 5.
So I teased this fellow earlier I was talking about Seth Avett, about the two people that have influenced my guitar playing the most. This one I would say probably the most, no question, and that is this guy right here,
Oh yeah.
John Prine. I mean, he's influenced my songwriting. He's influenced my guitar playing. Some of my vocalizations, because his range is kind of like mine. Just prove that you didn't need fancy Beatle chords to write a good song. And I mean, again, one of those guys. He had some weaker albums, but never an album that's just repulsive. Just a pretty steady catalog his whole career. His last album was a masterpiece. This is Bruised Orange. I just grabbed this one because it had a good picture of him on it.
That's a great album.
Fish and Whistle, Bruised Orange, Sabu Visits the Twin Cities Alone, Crooked Piece of Time, the Hobo Song.
Hobo Song, one of my favorites.
Just a fan. I mean, I love him to death. I'm very fortunate I got to see him on his last 5 or 6 shows before he passed away. But yeah, I mean, maybe not technically a great musician, but a brilliant songwriter. And
not a bad guitar player, a good finger picker, and he could do that drop thumb thing a little bit.
He did that Travis picking a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'll absolutely.
Kind of underrated, actually.
He had to make my list. He
didn't play a lot of chords, but the chords he played, he used them to great effect.
They meant something. Absolutely.
Yeah, John's a treasure. Rob.
Okay, I'm going 90s here, and I can almost guarantee that both of you are going to show this man's father, who I don't understand. I'm going to go Jacob Dylan from the Wallflowers. Love the Wallflowers. I love Jacob Dylan.
Good songwriter, good singer, good guitar player.
His songwriting. This is one of my top 10 desert island albums of all time. This is from 96. It's the Wallflowers. It's not their debut. I think it's like their 3rd or 4th album, Bringing Down the Horse.
It's the second.
This is the one that has one headlight, 3 Marlenas, 6th Avenue Heartache, Don't Make Lonely Girls. It was their big monster album.
The Difference. Yeah.
The Difference. Yeah. I like his Wallflower stuff. I like his non-Wallflower stuff. I like Exit Wounds, their most recent album.
Love it.
Jacob Dylan.
I'm seeing them in October.
Oh, really? Wow. I'm jealous.
Yeah. I saw them last spring, and it was they did The Waiting by Tom Petty. Yeah, they did all like the Exit Wound stuff and all their other stuff. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited.
He came to Toronto last summer, but I didn't go, and I can't remember why. I think I had another commitment or something. But
wow, that's
we played
cool.
the amphitheater.
That's a good pick. Off the wall a bit, but that was good. I'm a big fan. I'm going with someone. Sam keeps talking about people who influenced him. I'm going to say influenced me musically. I'm not I'm a campfire guitar banger with 3 chords and strum away. But this man right here, David Bromberg, opened my eyes to so much acoustic music and even electric blues, whatever. I mean, his resume as a session man, especially the stuff he did with Dylan on Self Portrait, and played on some Phil Spector, early Phil Spector albums, and just an incredible guitar player. Can play anything, whether it's country or blues or jazz or rock. I mean, he's just an incredible guitar player. His band, the David Bromberg Band in the 70s, was just on fire. He really got me interested in playing acoustic music, and big influence on me. And I just love this guy, David Bromberg.
I saw him once live.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
I saw him about 100 freaking times.
His something happened with their amps, like the electric kind of went out. It was a small, like 400-person venue, and I was like 4th row, and they switched all their electric songs to acoustic and just did it.
Oh, yeah.
Acoustic. Yeah, it was killer.
Great. They're so good. And he always has great musicians.
I think he's on his farewell tour now.
He quit playing music for a long time and studied violin making and became a luthier.
Wow.
Violins are worth a lot of freaking money.
Wow.
Bradley's Barn is rare because we already got that. Jerry Reed played on Bradley's Barn. I'm sold.
Love Jerry Reed. Dan
Fogelberg, great singer-songwriter. Steve Martin, just stick with the Steve.
Yeah.
I see Bradley's Barn once in a while. I may buy it next time I see it. Yes. I'm hoping I'm going to find it one day. John, buy Bradley's Barn if you can. There we go. I like the fact that Genesis chose 2 Americans to complete their live version group after Gabriel and Hackett left. Daryl Strumer and Chester Thompson. Amazing drummer. What a resume that guy's got. Look
Well,
up
that's like
that
when
guy.
the Heartbreakers got Steve Ferroni, who's British from Average White Band.
And Chester Thompson played with in Zappa's band for a while too. Shouldn't Neil Young count? Like, come on, no,
No, you
shouldn't.
can't have him. He's
Shouldn't
ours.
have him.
Nope.
Probably got a U.S. passport, but
Did you
We'll
see
give
his
you.
set
We'll,
list?
gi-
full
we'll,
citizen.
we'll give you Justin Bieber and Celine Dion.
Nah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, you can't have Neil.
Nope.
Okay, Sam, we're back to you. Number
Well,
4.
This might be a shock to people as to being number 4, but after this, it's really based on musicians. Well, kind of. But number 4 for me is going to be Tom Petty. In terms of, I know.
Blown away.
I can't believe he's 4.
Yeah, I know. In terms of bands, they're my favorite American band by far, as the Heartbreakers. Petty, I put a little bit lower than others just because of what the others do with their craft. But I love how Petty sings. Some people are kind of turned off by his kind of nasally singing. I love it. I love the melodic nature of his songs. His partnership with Mike Campbell, obviously, is second to none. Again, not a great guitar player, even though I know Mike Campbell talked about on that last tour that Petty would want to take leads, and Campbell was like so happy that Petty was coming out of his shell playing lead guitar more and more. Like he would be like, "Let me take the next one." So I mean, again, just a perfect songwriter. He could write everything you needed in 3 minutes for a great song. They didn't have any really major frills or anything as a band, but Tom Petty as a musician, I love his songwriting style. I wish I could write songs like Tom Petty, and number 4 for me.
Still sadly miss that guy. There's some musicians who die and they've lived their lives, and you're happy just having their records and stuff like. But some guys, it's just like there's such regret that they're gone.
Yeah,
He's one of them.
Yep. Yep.
He is sadly missed.
All right. This is one that I want to put higher, but I can't for a few reasons. I'm going with Grace Potter from Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, one of my favorite bands. I've said they're kind of like a 70s rock, blues rock band, modern from the aughts and the early 2000s, but they sound 70s-ish. I would put Grace higher, except she has gone solo. She destroyed this band, and this band was lightning in a bottle. They were incredible, and her solo stuff pales in comparison to the stuff she did with the Nocturnals, and she handled that with a complete lack of class, how she blew up this band. And it pisses me off that she destroyed my favorite band because she got an ego. So I would like to rank it higher, but I can't because she is a wanker. But this was their last album, and god damn, it is incredible. It's called The Lion, the Beast, the Beat, which is from 2012. So
I've never
Grace
listened to her music. I should check some of that out.
oh, you'll love it.
The way she ended the band is kind of how Glenn ended the Cosmic Torpedoes.
Uh-oh.
I just blew it up.
I highly doubt that, because this involves her cheating on her husband with her producer, blowing up the band, divorcing her husband, who is their drummer, and then marrying the producer. So
Well, I had an affair with Sam's uncle.
I don't think Glenn did that.
Yeah, so
We keep some things off camera, though, Rob. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
We're like Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. We have to like. Keep it
I gotcha.
it's been kind of painful, but we're getting. It's kind of like George Harrison and Eric Clapton still being friends, with all the stuff that went on with
they
Patty.
just passed the. Yeah.
If Eric and George can get past it, Sam and Glenn should be able to make it.
There
Right.
you go.
Okay, well, my next 4 are going to be, if anybody knows me, are going to be very predictable. I got to go with Frank Zappa, just an incredible composer, great guitar player, and band leader, just amazing. And this is actually the new release called Funky Nothingness, 3 CDs of stuff he recorded 1969, 1970, just after the Hot Rat sessions. Just some great stuff on here. It's a small band, which Frank really didn't play with really small bands that long. But it's just Frank Zappa, Sugarcane Harris playing violin and organ, Ian Underwood playing the rhythm guitar and saxophone and keyboards, Max Bennett, who's got I didn't know who Max Bennett was. We had quite a resume. He's a bass player, a jazz guy. And Ainsley Dunbar on drums, who's just a great drummer. This is really good. It's really like a lot of blues jams. It's like I was really shocked by how bluesy this album was. And they even do a Muddy Waters cover of I'm a Rolling Stone. So pretty cool album. I'm really happy that I got that. So Frank's number 4. Okay, Hall and Oates. That's 2 picks, Jack.
You got to pick one, buddy.
You see Doc drinking a bowl of old chocolate? No. How old was the bowl? It's got to be bad. Creedence Clearwater, yes, but you can only pick one guy, so I'm assuming it's going to be
Doug Clifford.
Yeah, Doug Clifford. Flannel shirts. Frank Sinatra.
He was on my list originally.
You don't have. Yeah, no one's picked any crooners.
No.
Little Feat. I thought about picking Lowell George. Great musician.
They have a couple reissues coming out, don't they? A couple of sets.
Yeah, they're out now. First 2 albums. Yes, I removed that comment since I was 2.
Since it was 2.
Sly Stone. Absolutely. John Fogerty. All right, we're down to our top 3.
All right, here we go now. Again, the reason this person is where they are is because of musicianship. But Rob already hinted at him earlier. Bobby.
I didn't even pick him, you know that?
Are you serious?
I knew someone, yeah.
Wow. Pick Zappa over Bob Dylan.
I'm shocked.
Well, I was thinking musicianship when I was picking my guys.
I was doing both. Like, it was hard because, like, my top 2 are based on musicianship. But I mean, in order to put words to melody like that, you have to be some sort of musician. And
absolutely,
Dylan's piano playing on like Every Grain of Sand is just beautiful. I'd say piano is probably his best instrument out of everything that he plays, even harmonica. I love how he plays harmonica now, where he's given up kind of like just that wailing, like, I'm making it up as I go. It's very bluesy and melodic now.
Yeah, it's more melodic than
and sparse. Like he only does it when he needs to.
Yeah.
Especially live. But I mean, anybody that knows me knows I had to pick Dylan. Just he means so much to me, and possibly my favorite solo artist. I would say definitely. He's my favorite solo artist.
Dylan and the Beatles up here, and everybody else just kind of somewhere falls down below.
Except for Glenn, who hates him and leaves him off lists. But anyway, Bob Dylan, no surprise.
I'm glad you put him on the list.
I am too, because
I'm shocked you didn't, Glenn. I would have put money that he was in your top 3.
No.
Wow. You think you know somebody?
No.
All right. My number 3 is My Guitar Hero. And I'm going to show this album by a band he was in because I know that this is Glenn's absolute favorite album by this band.
I know it's coming.
My Guitar Hero is Joe Walsh. So I'm going to show Glenn's favorite Eagles album.
Oh, God. What? Did you pick that album out just to bug me?
I did.
There's hardly any guitar on that album.
That is true.
Yeah.
This is not a good album. It's a double album, and it should have been a single. And even then, it
should have been a 45
stretch.
It should have been a 45.
Yeah, there's a couple good songs in here that J.D. Souther wrote, but I love Joe Walsh. He is my guitar icon. I know Sam talked about guitar players that he emulates. I couldn't emulate Joe Walsh if my life depended on it. I think he's an absolute guitar god. I've seen him once, and it was like a religious experience.
And you know what else is great? He's also a great acoustic player.
Yeah. Yep.
And he hasn't aged since the 80s.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good.
Well, I think it's all the drugs he did, just like Keith Richards. It's kind of preserved his body, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
It didn't do it. It didn't do that to Johnny Cash.
True.
He was like 72 and looked 98.
Okay, we're on, what's this, number 3?
Number 3.
Well, I'm going with my favorite guitar player in the world, Ry Cooder. Another
Very
man
nice.
who's introduced me to so much music. I mean, this guy has played blues and rock and folk and all kinds of world music, playing with African musicians and Spanish musicians, and just an incredible guitar player. My favorite slide player. Just man, there's nothing that Ry Cooder can touch that I don't love. It's just, if I see his name playing on an album, because he's got lots of session credits, it's an instant purchase for me. If he sports
When I was doing my video last week with my buddy Bob, he gave me one of his Ry Cooder albums. He's like, I'm going to give this to you because you need to have this album.
Good album.
I don't know. It's over in my to listen to stack, so I don't know yet.
Oh, that's good.
See,
see, your buddy Bob knows what he's talking about.
yeah, he does.
Yeah. Let's get caught up here. Remember that song? I like bread and butter. I like toast and jam. That was a real wimpy
I
song.
didn't know you sang on that, Glenn. It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
just like
that's,
it.
yeah. That's my falsetto.
Beautiful.
How has Henry Mancini not been mentioned? I don't know, but boy, if you like the Pink Panther movies, you got to like Henry Mancini. Roy Clark and Buck Owens, two great musicians. Absolutely. Jim Morrison, but he never had a solo career. No, he's a good poet and a singer and performer. Dwight Yoakam. Yeah, I got a friend who's just a huge Dwight Yoakam fan. He's a pretty talented guy.
Oh, yeah.
Barbra Streisand. One of the best. I mean, Joe Walsh plays like Joe Walsh. Yes, he does. He's
distinctively unique. Him.
Billy Gibbons.
Yes.
Yeah. Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim doesn't get enough credit. He was pretty well respected in the time. He hung out with a lot of cool people.
Dylan respected him a lot.
Yeah. Let's Have a Ball, one of the best live shows ever by Ry Cooder, recorded back in the late 70s. Yeah, that's a great song off of I can't remember the name of the album now. We're Gonna Ball All Night Long. Ry Cooder played guitar in the movie Crossroads. Yes, he wrote all the music for them.
Yeah, it's a great soundtrack.
Great composer of soundtracks. There's a whole box set called Soundtracks. It's all Ry Cooder's Paris, Texas, Crossroads.
That's the one Bob gave me, Paris, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a soundtrack album.
Yeah.
He did a bunch.
Yeah. And Little Richard. Yes, absolutely. Icon.
Yep, great singer.
Okay, we're down to number 2.
Number 2.
Ooh.
All righty. This is an artist I don't talk about enough on my channel, but I mean, I love him. I've talked about him a little bit, but not enough. But you talk about a musician, this guy, and we talked about him earlier in the stream. Paul Simon. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful guitar player. If all Paul Simon did was play guitar, he would be considered one of the best. I mean, you listen to some of his picking. There's an instrumental track on the So Beautiful or So What album called Amulet, which is just beautiful classical guitar playing. If you listen to the newest album, Seven Psalms, it's just, to hear him play acoustic guitar is just, I mean, it's just incredible. And to see him do interviews where he talks about music theory and what goes into the songwriting, he is a master at his craft.
Mm-hmm.
This is his proper solo debut. It's technically his second album, I believe, that came out. This has, Mother and Child Reunion, Me and Julio, Armistice Day,
Duncan.
So just a beautiful, beautiful record. And I mean, Paul Simon, again, Graceland is in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. He introduced world music into the popular, radio stations, and he's just, I mean, he's still, and Glenn and I've talked about this before. Him and Dylan, I think, are the last two guys that are still putting out stuff in their 80s that is consistent with stuff they put out in their 20s.
Yeah.
Just strong material. And Paul Simon is an absolute genius. So
his new album is so good. It's just
number 2.
Wow, Seven Psalms, great record.
Yeah, beautiful.
My number 2 is the person that changed music as much as the Beatles in my mind, and someone that never seems to get any love anywhere in the violin community, except for Jeff at Speaker's Corner. Elvis Presley.
Wow.
He was on my
I
list
argue with
originally.
that pick.
I mean, when I was very young getting into music, I was 12, whatever, 13, I don't know. Even before I discovered the Beatles, Elvis was the first thing I listened, the first thing I was exposed to. And I was just blown away. So I don't get why no one talks about him in the violin community. It blows my mind. Yeah, he put out a lot of shit. Like the stuff that he did for all those film soundtracks is not great. When I was younger, I never appreciated diamond-studded jumpsuit Elvis. Now I think he's friggin' fantastic. But this is him at his pinnacle. The '68 comeback special is magic. So
There's a good channel. It's called Ed at the King's Court. He's
he's an Elvis freak.
he's all Elvis. I mean, Matthew Street.
I'll have to check that out.
Matthew Street talks about him a lot, and so does Joe Mayo. They're all big Elvis fans.
Okay, I need to watch more of their videos then.
Yeah, Matt talked about Elvis just recently. Just his love affair. He in the '68 special was kind of like where he had that love affair with Elvis. But yeah, check out Matt especially. But yeah, I don't watch Ed, but I know his is an Elvis channel.
All right,
The King's Court. Yeah,
cool.
I got to ask you about something.
Oh,
I didn't do it.
I know Matt Street kind of talked about this album and this band, promoted it. I think he knows them or something. And then I've heard you've mentioned them.
The Midnight Callers.
Mentioned this band called
The Midnight Callers.
Callers.
Yep.
So I didn't know anything about them really. I haven't paid any attention to anybody talking about until I was on the chat with Steve on Sunday night on All the World's a Stage, and it came up again. And I looked it up.
Yeah.
So that album is not released in Canada yet. It doesn't come out until July 28th.
Oh wow.
So I put it in my cart because I even went to Spotify, and in Spotify they don't even have it on there. You can't listen to it.
Really?
In Canada, maybe it's blocked because it hasn't been released here yet.
Oh.
But I went on YouTube and listened to a couple of songs off it, and just absolutely loved them. They were great rock.
Yeah.
Man, you should check these guys out.
Rob, you need to. Yeah.
Fantastic.
What are they called? Midnight Callers?
It's the second album, the Rattled
The album
Humming
is
Heart.
called Rattled Humming Heart. So look it up on YouTube. You can listen to a couple of cuts from it because you can't listen to it anywhere.
They're out of Jersey, I think, but
This
they're.
album, I've got it on pre-order because it's an instant purchase.
Yeah, Matt knows those guys well, and he was lucky enough to get me a promo copy of the CD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I was able to do a review, kind of at their request.
What's
So
the album called?
Rattled Humming Heart. They only have 2 albums, but it's like if it's got Big Star, it's got Cheap Trick, it's got T-Rex. Like there's a glam in it.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few. I recognize the album cover, and I've seen a few people talk
Gary
about it.
did one. I've done one.
I guess it's kind of power pop with a bit more of a punch to it, right?
Yeah, and they're
Right.
tight
intrigued.
harmonies.
I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Very good.
It sounds like just a great record just to listen to, like a good
It's a driving record.
toe tapping.
Oh, perfect. I do a lot of driving.
Yeah, it's right up your alley, Rob. Like
Okay,
seriously.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 2. I only have a couple of musical heroes in my life, and this guy's one of them. Bela Fleck, great banjo player. Bela played any other instrument, he would be on everybody's list of top 10 musicians. And this is a latest album. Like, he's taken the banjo into territory that no one else ever would dare. This is called As We Speak, an album he made with some other world musicians who would all be Zakir Hussain, the great tabla player. There's Bela there, right there.
Yep.
And Edgar Meyer, the great bass player, is on this, and it's called As We Speak. This is an incredible record. It's world music for the most part, but just the virtuosic playing, incredible record. Just came out this year, so that's my number 2.
There's one person that you've left off so far, and I'm surprised he hasn't made an appearance yet.
John Hartford. Yeah, I didn't put him on the list for some reason. I don't know why. He should have been on.
Hartford and Dylan, because when you were talking about people that influenced you, you showed David
He
Bromberg.
should've
I
been
thought
on.
you were going to talk
Yeah.
about him
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
banjo.
he should have been on.
Yeah.
I was trying to just pick different people that I don't pick that much.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, we're up to number. Oh, well, let's get caught up here.
Follow the script, Glenn.
Yeah. Well, nobody else does.
You're running the
Leo
ship.
Kottke.
We're just
Now
passengers.
there's a great guitar player. You ever listen to Leo Kottke?
No, but he comes
Acoustic
around
player,
here.
wonderful guitarist. Booker T. Any of the members of Booker T. could make a top 10 of great American artists. Heard Tim Buckley for the first time on Grant's channel. I'm not sure if I like him much. You know what? I'm kind of in agreement with him. He doesn't resonate with me at all.
That's me too.
It's people seem to like him. Yeah, I got to meet DJ Fontana and spend quite a bit of time with him. He's a very cool guy. Yeah, when I worked for Mariposa, they played the Sun Session guys came up, and I drove them all around town and spent a lot of time with them. They're really nice guys. The Elvis movie is killer. I kind of liked it and kind of didn't.
I still have yet to watch it.
I like it a lot.
The docu one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 68 Comeback Special is amazing. Midnight Colors is on Spotify in the US. Yeah, I don't think it is in Canada. I tried to find that album. Their first album's on there, but the second one isn't.
Yeah, Red Letter Glow. I have that one too.
Surf Music. That's kind of an American, I guess, just synonymous with US music. Surf music. Les Claypool, absolutely. Cliff Burton, absolutely. James Jamerson, a monster. Yeah. Incredible bass player. When I was learning how to play bass guitar, I studied James Jamerson, and I could not play anything like that man, ever. Okay. Number one.
That was a Dan over there has a nice little segue. And I was thinking about this list. Who was I going to make my number
Brian
one?
Wilson. And I'm lying in bed.
Brian Wilson. Rob, you act like the cliches, but you did have Taylor Swift as your first.
I know.
And Susanna Hoffs. This isn't technically a Brian Wilson record. This was a Record Store Day release. It's got Brian Wilson songs on here, but in like a comp form, but they're all like demos and lesser known things. But it was a cool picture of Brian. This was the Long Promised Road soundtrack, but I mean, just watch any documentary on Brian Wilson, watch Love and Mercy. You'll see how he's a great musician. And the thing is, Brian isn't a great piano player. He's not a great bass player. He's a great singer, but would I put him even in like my favorite singers? Probably not. But what he can do in his head and put all these things together. I've been listening to the Sounds of Summer Beach Boys comp this July 4th. I've been on summer music and that sort of thing. I've got the 3-disc version in my car and listening to some of those remixes. I was listening to Good Vibrations today. It was a 2021 remix. And there were things in that I'd never heard before. And I imagine if I was like in a studio and they played that full blast, that I would hear so much more than I've
can you
never
imagine?
heard.
Yeah.
Because he intentionally buried stuff in the mix.
That is an incredible song.
I mean, he's just absolutely brilliant. And he would just hum something and know that it goes with this other chord that doesn't make any sense. And these harmonies, they'd be like, why are we singing this note and this note and this note? But then they put it together and they say,
I don't think anything captures that more perfectly than Love and Mercy, that segment where they're, making of pet sounds like that. It shows the creative madness, but it all makes sense in his head, and he's just like, I gotta get it out. And
plus he's fighting his own demons. Yeah.
Right.
I saw Brian. I know Rob saw that tour too in 2016, the Pet Sounds tour with Al Jardine and Blondie Chaplin. Just a beautiful night. So yeah, Brian Wilson, he's just an absolute monster. And he's one of those people, he's kind of like Nesmith with me with the Monkees. I like Brian Wilson almost more than the Beach Boys. Kind of like, I like Nesmith more than the Monkees, just as an entity. So I can't fully explain it, but yeah, Brian Wilson, number one for me.
Very cool.
Yep.
Hard to argue with that.
My number one is someone that doesn't get a lot of credit. I'm going to go with Doug Clifford. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, John Fogerty from Creedence.
Was John Clifford or Doug Clifford the roadie? Or was he the in the
No,
band? Oh.
he might as well be, but I think he's a bit of an ungrateful bastard. But at any rate,
Stu Clifford.
John Fogerty, because as someone else said earlier, this is Fogerty's maybe as American as you can get. So just love him.
That's a great pick. Yeah, you can't do better than that.
Glad he made an appearance.
All American boy. That's it. My number one. He's kind of looking over my.
I knew that was going to be number one.
Yep.
The coolest guy who ever lived on Earth. Nobody's ever cooler breathed a breath on this planet than Jerry Garcia.
Until Sam St. John.
I'll pay you later, Rob.
No problem.
I actually, as much as I liked the Grateful Dead when I was young, as much of a big fan I am now, in the 70s, I wasn't a huge Dead fan. I liked them, but didn't embrace it as much as I do now. But when I started to listen to Jerry Garcia solo stuff, because I didn't even know he did solo stuff.
Yeah.
That's much I didn't really pay much attention. And then when I heard this album, it's the Jerry Garcia acoustic band, Almost Acoustic, it's called. And this album is so freaking good. As soon as I heard this, it was like, oh my God. Then I started to go back and listen to his playing in the Dead. And then I went, oh, that's it for me, man. It was just like, couldn't get enough. And I love his playing. Any of his solo stuff is so cool. And the stuff he did with the Grateful Dead, just an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, I knew he was going to
be
number one. List.
That was fun.
Very fun. Different methods of going about it for, I think, all of us.
Yeah, that was cool. And
it was fun once I figured it out. Maybe next time I'll read the emails a little more diligently.
Well, I know. Next week, one of you guys can choose it. Oh, I might not be here. What's the date today?
Next week will be the 12th.
Okay, I'm good. I'm going to a concert on the 13th.
I'm not here. I'm going to be away on the 26th.
I think that's. Oh no, I might be away the week before that, the 18th, 19th, or 18th, 19th. I guess it would be.
I unfortunately have to go away for work. I have to go to Las Vegas for work.
Oh, that sounds like a bit of a party.
Oh,
you sure you don't want to sit in your room and do the chat?
I'd love to actually, but I'm going to have to work. So,
is it a trade show or a conference? Yeah.
It's the Sam may have heard of it because we're in related industries. It's the it's the AWFS, which is the something woodworking American Woodworking Fair and Show or something like that.
Yeah, it's market is what we call it. Yeah.
Wow, very cool.
If you happen to see the people at Furniture Dealer, then say hello for me.
All right.
Will you have any free time at all?
It depends whether it depends how many customers I have that make the trip down there. If I have customers that come down, I have to take them out.
Okay, so I was just going to say that's if you're there and you get a free night, you can always look up and see who's playing in Vegas.
It's a shame that U2's not there.
I know. I was like, too bad it couldn't have been like November because like the F1 race is there and U2 will be there. But
that's the first thing I do when I know I'm going to a place is look and see who's playing.
Yep.
You can see some great shows. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool. And have fun.
I guess it's never fun, right? It's work. So, you get up at 7:00 in the morning because you got to be at the convention center for 8:00, and then you stand on your feet all day.
Oh no, they're terrible.
Then you have to take customers.
The odd show, and
then you got to take customers out for dinner, and then if they want to go somewhere else, and then it's like 2:00 in the morning when you get back to your room, and you're just friggin' exhausted.
I didn't mind the schmoozing part, but I hate standing around.
I would hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hate that.
When the workday is over, I don't give a shit. I want to go and have dinner by myself and go to bed.
No, I was
watch TV in your room.
A social animal. I was a bit more of a party animal.
I try to get out of those like customer dinners as much as possible.
That's like going on vacation. They always like the first night they want you to have like the breakfast where they try to sell you more timeshares.
Oh
know,
yeah.
like at condos, like come to breakfast. It's only an hour. No, you're there for 4 hours on your first day of vacation.
Yeah.
The salesmen are just smoking cigarettes. Like, well, you gonna buy something?
That's funny.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of those in my life.
Wow. Or what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm going to see Tedeschi Trucks a week
Ooh.
tomorrow, and then following Wednesday I'm going to see
Where are
Nickel
they playing?
Creek.
The amphitheater? Are
They're
they playing the
the
amphitheater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sam, I'm going to see Nickel Creek
Oh, cool.
following Wednesday.
They're in two different spots in my ear, like in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've seen Chris Stiley play quite a few times, but I've never
Mhm.
seen this Sarah and Sean Watkins, so I'm really
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
I've met
missed-
Sarah Watkins.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're going to do some kind of. Usually, they do meet and greets at those kind of smaller venues. So afterwards, I'll try and hang out.
I missed a good show 3 nights ago at the amphitheater. Noel Gallagher was in town.
Oh, yeah,
really?
that's right.
And
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
missed.
go? Wow.
I knew he was coming, but I kind of put it off, and then it was like, oh, he's coming tomorrow, and I'm like, ah, shit, oh well.
Why don't we try and arrange a get together on one Saturday coming up?
We should.
Yeah, let's talk to
We should.
Brian at
Yeah,
see if we can figure out a day.
I'll shoot you an email, and I'll start an email going.
Yeah, we should figure something out. It's
Yeah.
time. It's the summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if anybody's watching my recent videos, I bought that Eric Clapton box set, the 24 Nights. It's freaking fantastic. I was kind of not. I didn't want to spend the money, but then I ended up with a bunch of gift cards, so it only cost me $26 out of my own bank account because I had enough gift cards to make up the difference. And it is. I would have gladly, knowing now after listening to it, I would have gladly spent the $200 on the CD set. And I hear the vinyl; it's expensive. It's like $300, but I hear it sounds fantastic. It was mastered by Chris Bellman, and really, really just great performances, and it's so well done. The remastering and everything, and all the extra songs they've added in. It's one of the best box sets I own now. Loving it. Can't stop playing it. Where are we going here?
Trevor wants to know if I wear shorts to dinner.
Good evening. Oh, good evening.
Hey, Paul.
Paul, how you doing? Roy Orbison, number 1. Yeah, great pick. Everly's, yes.
Which one? You got to pick one.
Oh, you got to pick
Ooh.
Filler Dawn.
That's like
use them for 2 picks. I mean,
that's like picking your favorite Cosmic Torpedo.
yeah.
Which
You need a top 12 like
in
Larry.
the comments, who's your favorite Cosmic Torpedo?
Well, it has to be Sam because we've established that Glenn blew up the band. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Rob, with customers, do you wear your signature shorts or do you have it to wear?
well,
pants?
when it's 40 degrees in Vegas, bet your ass I'm wearing shorts. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit what anybody says.
Oh, it's hot there in the summer, man.
Oh, who thinks of a good idea to have a trade show in Vegas at the last week of July?
Yeah. Well, you stay inside.
Yeah, I know,
What's
but you still have to walk from one building to the next, right?
Yeah.
Good evening,
Hey,
Jim.
Jason.
Good evening.
Oh, Jason.
We get Clapton here in February. Yeah, he's playing here too. And I looked up tickets because a buddy of mine I was talking to the other day, an old friend, him and his wife are going. I thought, I wonder how much tickets are. I couldn't find the ticket cheaper than $200. So we're not doing that. I've seen Clapton enough. The only Brian Wilson solo albums I have is his debut, Sweet Insanity, No Peer Pressure.
Yeah, I don't have Sweet Insanity, but check out. I just showed it. Lucky Old Son from 2008. Check that out.
That's an album title?
Yeah, that Lucky Old Son. It's like a Van Dyke Parks does some narration, like he wrote some narrations in it, but it's essentially an homage to California.
Oh, cool.
Really, really good.
Just got my 24/7. Looking forward to a weekend of. Yeah, I have not stopped playing this thing since I got it last Saturday. I think it came. 7-Eleven for the great music here outside the store. Yeah. I listen to all the solo stuff. They're the only ones I liked. Oh, for Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson, Too Much Sugar.
Nah.
Is that another Dan joke?
I think he's just referring to the early pop, maybe. The
Oh,
Beach Boys.
I see.
He's
So
too
what's going
sweet.
on? Anybody got anything exciting to promote or? I didn't win your contest. That was kind of pissed me off.
No, yeah,
Oh.
Robert S. took the prize.
I got excited when you were like, Rob, And I'm like, but now I'm like,
Oh
no.
yeah, I never
That's
thought
true.
of that.
That's
For
true.
half a second, I thought I was on a winning
And he
streak.
said, "My
but-
good friend
Right?
Bob," and I thought,
Well, that should have been my first mistake right there. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You should know me better than that. I don't.
wow, you
Yeah,
did
that was-
really good with the contest, though. You got a really good turnout.
It was fun. Yeah, it was just under 50.
Yeah, if you get around 50, I think if you get
Entries.
around 50 entries in a contest, you're doing really good.
And especially considering I'm not even at 1,000 subs, so
Yeah.
that was pretty good. But yeah, nothing. I'm kind of laying low right now. I'm going to a concert on Tuesday. It's kind of a busy week for me. Like every evening this week, I was booked up with something. My cousin's getting married, so it's all sorts of stuff with that. Tomorrow's the big.
Are you in
hangout
the wedding
after.
party, or
Yeah, I'm one of the groomsmen. Yeah, there's a bunch
you
of
have
us.
to pay for your own suit?
It's a rental. It's a tux rental. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate that. As soon as you get asked to be in a wedding, it's like, oh,
Yeah. Thankfully, I haven't been asked to be in many.
Or
But
even to
it's-
go to a wedding these days, you gotta go. There's $500.
Well, I know because we're doing like tomorrow's like the bachelor get together. My cousin didn't want to do anything crazy, so we're
Yeah.
doing like the axe throwing and like we're going to a couple of breweries here tomorrow night. But I mean, axe throwing is like $26, and then you got to buy the beers and the food, and so I mean I'm going to be out $100 tomorrow night,
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, I know.
And it's
And
a
I
work
know
night.
your family weddings are like, well, it's not just our family. I think most weddings nowadays, people want money. You can't buy gifts anymore.
Yeah,
Gone are the days you go to the Bay and buy a vase and wrap it up. Now it's like, you got to put at least $150, $200 a person from who of the people that are going to your group. Like, it's easy just to drop $500. It's insane. Like, I'd rather not get invited.
Thankfully, it's only 12 minutes away where I have to go. It's at our church, and then we're having the reception at a venue downtown, so it's not like I have to travel. But yeah, it's just the socializing is not what I'm about.
I lucked out. My mom got married a few months ago because my dad's deceased. She got remarried, and I wasn't invited, so I didn't have to go. I was the only family member not invited, so there you go.
Word.
But I didn't have to buy a suit. I didn't have to give a gift.
Perfect.
Great.
That was the wedding. That was the best gift you ever received.
I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
Suffice it to say, her husband and I do not get along. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
I know when Brian Massey gets back, we're gonna do. I think actually, funny enough, I think we're gonna do an Elvis related video. On that, like, was this album really that good? It's his From Memphis album.
The answer is yes.
So, because Brian is not a big Elvis fan, so he wants to go into this kind of cold, and so we're gonna do that. I think at some point when he's back. I think at least another week or so. But
what album are you picking?
It's Elvis. Was it From Memphis? Yeah. So,
the answer is yes. It is that good.
And then I'm seeing a concert Tuesday. I'm seeing the Head and the Heart again, so I'll have a review of that. In Charlottesville, Virginia. And I mean, the contest finished, and I'm kind of slowed down a little bit. My ideas have just kind of like that, and I'm trying to put out like solid content, and so I've held off on a few of the threads and everything. I'm not a very good member of the VC apparently, so with all that to say, subscribe to my channel.
Yeah.
I don't do
anything, but please.
I don't support anybody.
Rob, when are you going to upload your conversations with your buddy Bob?
I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Maybe next week. It'll be next week sometime. I'm crazy busy with work right now, and I just get home and I'm exhausted. And I got 2 other videos I'm working on. I'm doing. I got some VCLT from my good friend Mike at MGK Boston, so I'm going to do a video about that. And my last video that I did, where I showed my grail that I found, I'm going to do a new video. What is my grail list now? Because it's changed from what it was last year, because I've picked up some of those grails. So those are coming probably
That's an
before
interesting video. I like that idea. What's on your list, your bucket list, Jennifer?
I was surprised because I did a grail video. I want to say I'd been on YouTube like 4 months, so it was very early last year. And I never thought that I would get many of them that are on that list. And over the last year, I think I picked up maybe 5 or 6 that were on my grail list of 10, I think. So it has changed a little bit. So I think And plus, no one watches my videos from a long time ago anyway. No one watches my videos now, so what the hell does
My
it matter?
problem is I'm so old school that when it comes to a Grail, I want to go to a used record store and search and find it. Like that's the thrill for me.
That is the thrill.
And if I find it on Discogs or YouTube or eBay or something, I go, it's just not the same thing. It's almost like I'm pretty much guaranteed I could find anything I want if I have the money.
You're right, and so in my last video, for all of you that are watching that haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil what it was, but it's readily available. There's always 3 or 4 listings, but it's always very expensive.
Yeah.
And I've been watching it for like 5 years now.
That's kind of cool to do that and find something that's like way out of your price
normally,
range.
you know, $200-$250. And I got it for $60 and it was still sealed. It had the one corner had a little bend in it. I'm like,
I saw that big deal.
I don't give a shit.
Play the cover.
Well, exactly, right? So I'm opening it and listening to it and whatever. So yeah, it wasn't like I found it in a store, but I found it at a very good price that I was willing to pay.
That's a big difference. That's same. I got that Bela Fleck and the Flecktones album for $80 from a guy who act on Discogs who actually lived.
Right,
you could meet up. He lived in Toronto and was coming out my way. So
yep,
like I couldn't resist it. You know, there's certain things that are just so expensive if you can find them cheap online. But I still like to find stuff as I'm browsing around.
Yep.
What's going on here? Oh, there's my mouse always goes into sleep mode when this is kind of funny, eh? Alcohol and axe throwing.
I hate the idea.
Winning combination.
I'm not a fan of axe throwing at all. I'm terrible at it. And the
I've
idea
never done it. I can't even.
An axe by your ear, it scares me. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't do it. Sam will come.
I'd love to try it.
His hair grown long on one side because he's missing his ear.
I'm like Van Gogh. Yeah, it scares me to death.
Sam Van Gogh.
Because sometimes those axes, they'll hit the board, and then if it doesn't go, they'll bounce back.
Oh yeah,
it's.
You want to wear hard like the
steel toes.
Boots. Well, no, they tell you to wear hard toe shoes, and this is the funny thing: if you don't have, like, if you walk in there with sandals, they just give you a pair of Crocs to wear.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't think I'd ever do it. I've never done it.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
It's overpriced, and you can lose a limb.
Sounds like a wicked time.
I'm with Jason. Sounds like a wicked time.
Jack, thanks, buddy. Always love having
Jack.
you.
See you, Jack.
Rob, I thought you all Canadians all get along. We do get along, but we have a sense of humor that's
even when we don't get along. It's take off, poser. Sorry.
Speaking of not getting along, I'm watching that show Succession. Have you guys watched that show?
No.
I've never watched a show where everybody in the show is an asshole. Like you hate them all. Like they're just not a good. There's not a good guy. They're all a bunch of scumbag, rich.
Sounds like our live stream.
A company, and it's such a great show, though.
Again, just like our live stream.
I hate that guy. Jack, that's what I do, Glenn. Well, I hope you have some tissue with you when you do it. You're right, Glenn. Finding it in person online so much better. Yeah, it's kind of the fun thing, right? You got to decide quick if you can afford those grails. Yeah, especially on eBay.
Yep.
We've gone axe throwing a few times. I have fun. Yeah,
because they'll also give you throwing stars and knives too. So it's like different throwing techniques.
Oh, really?
It's not just axes. Yeah, like there's like ninja stars that you can throw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
It's popular.
It's like the big like date night thing to do for people. It's get drunk and throw sharp objects at a wall.
We were coming home.
I can't go out with you anymore. You're not as good looking without that ear.
Yeah, right.
We were coming home from the Canada Day fireworks on Saturday, and in front of us at the stoplight was a mobile axe throwing trailer.
Oh my word!
And I thought, well, there's a good business. Just drive that around to events.
Discogs want list.
I have a long one. Discogs want list.
What happened to darts? Exactly. What's just a game of darts?
They've even got like if you
can lose an eye playing darts.
If you go to like arcades like Dave and Buster's, they have like plastic axe throwing. Like so, like you throw it onto the board and like it'll catch, and then like the board will pull away so the axe will drop. So it's like like an arcade game now. with
Well, do
fake
you remember
axes.
that game that came out like I don't know how many years ago now? Lawn darts.
Yeah,
And when they first came out, they had the big metal
just a
freaking
javelin. Yeah,
thing, and
We had those as a
they
kid.
had to ban them to get plastic ones now because people were
getting
getting them
impaled.
in the head.
That's amazing. Those things even existed.
I was just thinking about when I grew up, anything went. And I was thinking today about we used to. I don't know if they still have them, but we used to have chemistry sets when we were kids. And it was a big case, and you open it up, and it had every freaking chemical you could have, like sulfuric acid and freaking
Cook
like
your own meth.
you could make a bomb. Like nobody thought about it. You could just burn yourself to death. Poisons all over your hands, and you're putting them in your hands. God. I played lawn darts yesterday, but they probably have a plastic point on them now. I'm thinking
Probably.
the plastic ones. Yeah, I don't think you can get. I bet you those ones with the metal pointer or whatever you want to call it, they're probably worth a freaking fortune. Canada Day, LOL. It's like Cato version of 4th of July.
That's not the least bit insulting. Typical American.
Yeah. we have a good Canada Day. We're proud of our country.
Absolutely.
I think we live in the best country on earth. Bocce ball is fun for a few minutes. Yes.
I like
A few
bocce.
minutes. Yeah, no kidding. Well, it's 10:02, boys. So
good one.
another night has gone. We're all back next week, though, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with a topic, and want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. It was fun. Thanks, guys. That was a cool night.
It was.
And,
I'll read the
Everybody
instructions
watch.
properly next week.
please subscribe to Northern Revolutions. Please subscribe to Sam St. John. And leave us some thumbs up and thumbs downs and thumbs sideways and everything else. Thanks so much.
Bye,
Have a great
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.